A reading from the Gospel according to St. John. When they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my lambs." A second time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the third time, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" And Peter felt hurt because he had said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep. Very truly I tell you, when you were younger, you used to fasten your own belt and to go wherever you wished. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands and someone else will fasten a belt around you and take you where you do not wish to go." He said this to indicate the kind of death by which he would glorify God. And after this he said to him, "Follow me." In today's Gospel reading we hear of how the resurrected Jesus challenges Peter as to how much Peter truly loves him, and commanding him on how he can prove that. Now, lest we forget, this is of course the same man who, having denied that he would ever desert Jesus, promptly did so and denied him 3 times when in the face of adversity. My point is that Peter's got form, and so Jesus is not being in any way unreasonable in challenging him on this. This story is about the power of forgiveness, the power of freedom, and the trust that Jesus places in his disciples. And as we are also his disciples, it's therefore about us as well. Forgiveness, true forgiveness, the sort of forgiveness that hurts, that means more than just setting aside the sin being forgiven. It means more than just ignoring it or continuing life as if it never happened. And Jesus' example is indicative of what that means. It means making yourself vulnerable and placing your trust in the hands of the person who has just slighted you, not with the same or lesser amount of responsibility that you'd given them in the first place, but with more. In Jesus' case, he recommissions Peter to feed his lambs, to tend his sheep and feed his sheep. Jesus' response is to recommission Peter to take the lead responsibility for founding the church, and to take the responsibility for the pastoral care of all peoples. No biggie then. And just in case Peter still hadn't quite got his thinking right, Jesus went on to explain that doing this would lead him to die in the same way that he himself had done, with someone else in control of Peter's life, with someone else making the decisions. And in there is the parallel that each of us start our earthly lives with youthful agency and energy, and each of us will eventually end our lives and die, almost certainly, in the need of care of others. It's a costly grace, this mercy of the loving Jesus. It will soften us, and it will toughen us, and cause us pain and hardship, and it will take us to places that we can't foresee, and frankly might not wish to go to. But it will also reveal and open up to us loves and conversions and joys that frankly we can scarcely imagine. With Peter, we are returned anew to the very beginning. All of it, the whole story, the love, the feeding, the miracles, all of the stories told, the untamed response to the call echoes through the ages from Peter and Jesus to each of us today. Follow me. He's told each of us what to do. He has shown each of us how to do it. He has shown us by his example, and his story has been told. This passage that we've just heard today comes from the very end of St. John's Gospel, pretty much the last of the Gospel accounts, and pretty much the last piece of biblical scripture to be written. In that way, it very much does give us the final word of the entire Bible, of the Jesus story as it was recorded 2,000 years ago. Those final words that we now need to take heed of are, "Follow me."